for the gram. Bitches love the gram.
Oh wait, shit.
Alright, I thought since I'd be heading to Ottawa this week, I'd show you what's actually in my camera bag. I use this whenever I travel, either locally or abroad. For every shoot I've ever done, I just carry this with me because it's compact and easy. So to start off, what is this backpack? It is an active zone backpack, and the reason why I got it, aside from being like a semi-hard shell to protect your camera gear, is Joey L used it in the Middle East, and if it works in the Middle East, I'm sure it'll work wherever it is that I'm gonna go. So one of the best features about this backpack, first of all, is that it's an anti-theft backpack. So because you zip the backpack from the back like this, it actually makes it less prone for you to be, for stuff to be stolen from you. Because when you wear it, all of the zippers are facing inward, so you can't actually steal it from the outside. And this actually helped me while I was traveling in Greece. There was somebody behind us, and I was like facing this direction, and they were trying to tamper with my backpack, so Tara's like, oh, put it in front of you, so I did, but he couldn't figure out how to like open this thing. So that's super important. So okay, here, what's in my backpack? So first of all, what I always carry with me is an external power charger, because when you're traveling, I mean, it's very difficult sometimes to find an outlet or even have a converter. So if you have this external charger, you know you're safe, I mean, for a little bit at least. But locally, I don't really bring this with me too much. Other than that, everything else is devoted to camera gear. So what is super important about when you shoot photography or video, you always have to have two cameras, because one is a backpack to the other camera. I used to focus primarily on video, but because now I do photo and video, I have one dedicated to photo and one dedicated to video. They both shoot essentially photo and video, like they're pretty much the same thing, except for this Canon 70D. The reason why I use this instead of using the 5D, which has better quality, is the autofocus feature. So if you're shooting something and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna transition from one focal point to the next focal point, instead of messing with the dial, you just tap the back and then it automatically figures out how to focus for that object. Oh, and I also have a pancake on this, a pancake lens, because it just makes it easier for travel. I used to also shoot with a mic, but that was too difficult, like trying to get the levels correct later on. For the photography camera, the Canon 5D, I usually have this super wide 16 to 35 millimeter lens attached to it, because I like shooting landscape shots, and this one affords you the best focal length because it captures the whole scene, and the 35 millimeter allows you to quickly switch to something close in view if you're going to do like a semi-portrait shot. But when I'm doing like a legit portrait shot, I use the 85 millimeter, because at this focal length, it keeps everything in proportion and doesn't distort the image when you're editing in post later on. Memory cards. So memory cards are the lifeblood of all photography, aside from batteries. What I do is I keep them in this hard case, just so that they don't break as I'm traveling. And all of my memory cards are pretty much Extreme Pros, because you can essentially submerge these in water and it won't distort any of the data on the cards. So that's super important. What I also do is I like to break up the amount of memory. Usually, like before, I would have like 100 gigs on one card, but then somebody was like, well, what happens if that card breaks? So I ended up breaking up all of my memory cards into like 32 gigs now. So I find that's like a pretty good range that allows you to keep shooting without having to worry that you're gonna lose the data on that one card. So I actually used to carry a Steadicam with me wherever I went, and you'll notice that I don't put any tripods on here, because a Steadicam and a tripod are super large, and traveling made it super difficult when we were on the plane trying to pack it away. So what I do now is I actually use this DJI Osmo Pocket, which is pretty clutch. So what it does is you can like keep it. I usually keep it in my fanny pack, but then I pull it out, and then I can get like steady cam shots of the entire area, just like this. Yeah. So it's pretty handy. You just pull it out, shoot, put it away back into your fanny pack. And the final thing that's super important when traveling is your battery case. So in this little compartment, I have all my batteries inside and the charger. So what makes this great is you know where everything is at all times, and then I can like hand this off to whoever I'm with and be like, oh, can you charge this? And then they'll just give it back to me without having to hand them like, here's the charger, here's the batteries. It's all in one place. Yeah. So that is what I keep in my bag. Oh, I also have an ND filter for this landscape lens, but I find that when you're switching back and forth between the ND filter and no ND filter, I mean, it's too time consuming. So I usually only keep this on if it's like in that tropical area, and I know I'm just gonna have it for the entire day. But yeah, other than that, that is what's in my backpack. I pretty much keep it all like this, and then I just bring this around with me. And I also store it just like this, so I just put this in a container, and I know it's good to go whenever I need it.